Hello, Just Frog It here again. I am going to, in this video, show you how to do the purl stitch. So in the last video, this is what we did. We did the knit stitches, okay? And it looks the same on both sides, okay? This video, I'm going to show you how to do purl stitches for a few rows. Okay, so when you look at the back of a knit stitch, you get these bumps. These bumps right here at the base of your loops on your needle. This is a purl bump because on the right side that was facing you for the knit, you don't have those bumps. It is flat underneath your stitches. So it's bumpy on one side and flat on the other. So with the purl stitch, the side that's facing you is going to be your bumpy side and the other side is going to be your flat side. So for the purl stitch, let me just get my yarn here. The purl stitch, your yarn has to be in front of you instead of behind with the knit stitch. Okay, so when you do the knit stitch, you go up through, but your yarn is in the back. With the purl stitch, you want your yarn to be in front of you and you want to go down through the front of your stitch. Okay, and then you're going to grab your yarn from the front here. You're going to wrap it around that front needle. Then you're going to pull that up and through. And then you're going to pop it off of your left needle. Okay? So you're going to go down through the loop. You're going to wrap your yarn around. And then as you pull it up through, you have that yarn still on your needle. And then you're going to pop it off the front needle. Okay, see, it shows purl bumps on the front side. So down through the front, around the front needle, up through to the back, and then pop your stitch off of your left needle, keeping your yarn always to the front facing you. Okay, so down through the front, around the front needle, up through the hole to the back, and then pop the stitch off your left needle. Okay, down through, wrap around, up through the back, and pop the stitch off of the left needle. Down through, wrap it around the front one, up through the back, and pop the stitch off. Okay, so down through the front, wrap your yarn around, up through the back, and pop the stitch off the front needle. Down through, wrap around, up through, and pop your stitch off your needle. Down through, wrap around, up through, and pop your stitch off. Down through, wrap around, up through, and pop your stitch off. So there is a round of purl. See, as you can see, they have the bumps underneath. Let me grab my needle. As you can see, it's easy to see with the different colors I've used because this is color changing yarn. But here is your purl bump. This white stitch here is your purl bump from the row before. This dark blue one is your new stitch that you purled onto your right needles. And if you do turn it around, like we always do, it's becoming flat on the other side because the row we did before the purl stitch was a knit stitch. So when you do a row of knits and then your next row is purl stitches, you get stockinette stitch. So it's flat on one side and bumpy on the back, instead of bumpy on both sides like you do with the knit stitch. Okay, so let's do another round of purl stitches, and then we'll do in the next video the stockinette stitch. So this one we want our yarn, our working yarn in the front. You take your right needle and you go down through that stitch, wrap your yarn around your front needle, pop it up through the back, and pop the stitch off the left needle. Okay, so down through the front, wrap around your front needle, pop it up through the back of your left needle, and pop the stitch off of your left needle. Okay, around, up, and pop off, down, around, up, and pop it 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 off, down, around, up, pop off, down, around, up, and pop off. Okay, there's another row of purl stitches. So as you can see on that flat side, because we did a knit row and a purl row, we have a purl row again, which puts these bumps on that other side again. And on this side, you will have a flat area because we did the purl stitch on the other side. And we're going to do the purl stitch again on this side for one more row, and then we will see you in the next video. Okay? So you want your yarn in the front, closest to you. You're going to go down through the stitch, around the front needle, up through the hole, pop the stitch off the left needle, down through the hole, around the needle, up through the hole, and pop the stitch off, down, around, up, and pop off, down, around, up, and pop it 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 off. Just did another row of purl stitches. So there's your bumpy area, and on the back side of your purl stitches is a flat area. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. We're going to do one more video in this tiny little learn how to knit basics, and then you are on your own for practicing, and then I do have one of my lives has a how to make a knitted dishcloth. So you can follow along and make a dishcloth or a washcloth or a hot pad for the very first time with knitting. Just make sure you practice your stitches over and over again because it is muscle memory, and then you will be a pro in no time. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Just frog it out.